Summer's coming. You're probably thinking about what you're going to do with your kids over the summer, as everybody does. And you're probably thinking to yourself, well, are we going to do some sort of sport with the kids this year? What are we going to do? Is it going to be football? Is it going to be tennis? Is it going to be basketball? I don't know. Everybody has their own ideas. But we're at M1 Golf today, down in Swadlincote, at their new driving range. Now, you might not think of golf is a gig that your kids would be interested in. But believe it or not, there's a big growing interest in golf these days. And we've got a really, really good golfer here. So you're going to be meeting him in a minute. He's going to be doing a little TV show for us called Tea Time with Mitch. And it's going to be a bit of fun, something your kids might be able to get into, something that you might want to think about for the summer. So let's go and have a look at what he's doing. So we're here at M1 Golf and we're talking to Mitch Duggins, who's a golfer, and we're talking about how you got into golf. What brought you to golf?
Well, it all started when I was about 8 or 9 years old, when I started to go to Branston driving range in Burton. I started with my dad and he taught me how to hold a club, how to hit as far as I can basically, and it just went from there really. And
I mean, you didn't think about anything else? It wasn't like football? Golf just attracted you for some reason?
I mean, I wanted to be different more than other people, so I wanted to do something that not a lot of people would think of doing firstly. So a lot of people do football, but I also did other sports at the time, but golf was my main sport when I was younger. Yeah.
And you'd obviously seen people playing golf before, so you knew what was involved.
Yeah, I know what was involved. I knew that when I was younger, all I thought was whacking it as hard as I can, but obviously there's much more. There's different ways of doing it now.
Yeah, so initially you're thinking about just hitting the ball, aren't you?
Yeah.
And then, you get into the skill end of it. How did that work for you? Did you find it easy to get into?
It took a while, but I realised that obviously I wasn't going to get it right first time. It's practice makes perfect, obviously. So it was a hard sport to get into, but I really enjoyed it when I was younger. And now to this day I still enjoy it.
So what level are you at now? Is there a league or?
At my age now you get a handicap where you go around 3 rounds with a member, which we haven't done yet due to weather and other reasons. But I have a membership at the minute at Breedon Golf Club, but when the course is built here then I will get a membership here and get a handicap and start playing in leagues and competitions.
Right. So handicap. Explain that to me, because I have no idea what that means.
Well, handicap basically means how many amount of shots do you take all the way round, which determines your handicap and your level of handicap.
Right, and is that based on what the course sets?
Well, it obviously depends on your ability around the course. Also, it depends if it's a 9-hole course, 18 course. But certain clubs only have 9 holes, so you go round twice, which you can't available. I don't think you can do a handicap on that course.
Right. Who sets the handicap? Is it the club?
Members determine what your handicap is. They hand it into the club managers, I guess, and they determine what handicap you have.
Right. And that's calculated on what? How many shots
you take, yes.
On each hole?
Overall.
So if you played an 18-hole course and you took 3 shots on every hole, your handicap would be
all of them added together. There's different courses. There's par 3, par 4, par 5 on each course.
Right.
Par 5 is the longest hole. It's because it's like different areas you've got to hit towards. Par 3 is quite a short course which requires a different amount of power in the clubs. So it really determines on how many shots you take.
Right. So the par is how many shots you should take to get that hole, to get it into the hole?
Preferably, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. There are a lot of stuff that goes on in the game that I don't understand, and a lot of people, I'm sure, out there don't understand, but pars and birdies and eagles
and all in one, yeah.
These are all terms that for getting under the amount of par for that hole.
So number of shots you take. So eagle would be on a certain course, it'd be 2, right. Maybe on a par 3. Hole in one, obviously 1 shot. Birdie 3 shots, 4 shots, par, and then so on like that.
So have you made any hole-in-ones?
No.
You haven't made a hole-in-one yet? So you got that to look forward to.
Yes, yeah, hopefully.
So what do you see the future for you in golf?
Well, once I've got my handicap, maybe playing in some competitions and doing something that the club owners do here, like teach the people how to actually do it, which does really inspire me.
Do they have any competitions for people your age?
I think there's been a few, but unable. I was too young to enter, and now there's not many around now, really.
Right.
But there was quite a few back in.
Because there's a professional organisation in there, the PGA.
Yes.
Which is Professional Golf Association,
yeah.
And I'm surprised that they don't run like courses for.
I know they do.
Or competitions.
Some competitions, yeah. I mean, they do sometimes on PGA tours. They do like certain holes. Like I think one I watched was when some kids entered our competition and then they got to play on one hole of the course, which was obviously for a little tournament, I think, and they did win a prize and something like that. But I haven't seen much of it going around recently.
Right. Is it an expensive hobby to get into?
Yes, quite expensive. It depends what clubs you buy, what balls you buy, how. To spend a lot of money on golf, you need to be consistent and you need to know what you're doing, because a lot of people just go around and buy clubs that are, I don't know, £500, £600, just intend to whack the hell out of the balls.
Right.
It doesn't really work like that. So you've got to be very consistent, spend a lot of money on this sport.
Right. But I mean, let's say you haven't got much money, you want to get into it. Is there an easy option?
Mini golf. Other than that, there's some clubs cheaper than others.
Right.
It just depends on what clubs you want, the best clubs to buy. There's a lot of things you've got to do.
I mean, for instance, is there a minimal amount of kit that you could live with?
Yeah,
second-hand,
sometimes there's some second-hand clubs here. I see when I walk in here that they sell them for second-hand. Also, you can go to some shops and they got they're already ready made up for you, and they give you certain clubs, so they give you certain clubs that you start off with. Like for me, I have a full set of clubs, but people who are just starting out, they can just have, I don't know, 3 wood and a pitching wedge, and that will do them for a while. Right.
So yeah, I mean, if they could come into a driving range, what would you recommend? I mean, like a 7-iron and a 3 wood or something.
3 wood's probably the best for younger people, but a driver is quite powerful, so you've got to have I'm not the strongest obviously, but you've got to be prepared to use that club.
Right, but you can get a club weighted specifically for you.
You can get it measured,
you
can get the shaft cut down. I mean, you can do a lot of things.
And what would you say is the hardest part of playing the game?
The frustration probably is the hardest part of the game. I mean, you've just got the most important thing in golf is your feet. Is the most important thing. Because if your feet are aiming to the right, then you're not going to hit it straight. So you've got to get your feet perfectly still, and that's the only way you can hit it straight. You need to swing your arms all the way back if you want to get it as further as it can.
Right.
But it just depends on the person, really.
Right. And what about the gear? I mean, special shoes?
Golf shoes, probably. If you're still starting out, maybe Astro trainers. They've got some good studs on them that you can walk around with, but golf shoes are the main things you need. Yeah.
And a glove.
Yeah, obviously. Well, not always. Some people don't use gloves because they find it like it rubs on your form and stuff like that. But I use a glove because it's easier to hold the club.
Oh, cool. Well, hopefully we're going to see you on the professional circuit one of these days, making huge amounts, fighting off Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
In the meantime, we'll watch you shoot some balls, and you can show us what you're doing.
Okay.
And hopefully you'll have a little series going here. You'll be able to teach people a little bit about golf.
Sounds good.
Excellent. Well, thanks a lot, Mitch.
Right,
thanks for talking to us. Cheers, mate.
No worries.
Thanks.